Welcome, welcome, brethren, sistren, and otherin, to another exciting episode of The Fortress of Bone. No Theoretical Bias presents. When last we met, our doty heroes doty to the core. They were assisting their new friends at the underground university, the academy of some stripe. Their new academical friends are willing to trade knowledge and information if they can help them out with a little problem. Ghouls, lots of them in the sewer system underneath the Necropolis. So, being the fine group of folk they're off into the sewer system. All right, so taking a look at the quick little map here, we have got the three potential entrances to the sewer system. Last time, the crew entered the westernmost so that they could start clearing out ghouls from west to east, since the problem seems to be the packs of them coming from the east. So, thinking strategically. All right, in the meantime, they've bumped into some strange-looking fish people with scales and gills and the whole 9 yards, and they've bumped into a small pack of ghouls. Anybody who wants to give me a, what shall we call this? Anybody who wants to give me a recall roll may at this point. Excuse me.
Good at recall.
I can roll it.
Beautiful. In my house. There we go. Okay. Tell you something interesting, up to you to make it useful. Interestingly, long arm ghouls, called so because they have very, very long arms and hit really, really hard. Long arm ghouls travel in packs, and they are known to form tribes. Okay. The problem with packs is they clump up in groups from about 4 to about 15, and tribes are going to be 5 to 7 of those packs. So we're looking at a lot of ghouls down here. Also, since the academicals mentioned there might be more than one pack. So that should be fun. All right, so you're recovering nicely from the last ghoul attack. Who's got the little motion tracker?
I think I still. Did I give it to somebody?
I don't have it.
I think you've
still
got
have
it.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
then I still have it.
Okay, cool. The motion tracker is currently silent.
Okay. So,
So-
Ranveer, how many hit points do you have?
Lovely 2.
All right, yeah.
Like-
Can I do a Hands of Grace roll?
Of course.
I was actually gonna set up a sanctuary,
And the sanctuary.
so everybody gets some healing when I cast healing spells.
Okay. Let's see. How are you going to define the space? You're in a wide sewer system with tiny little side passages and clogged up drains from the streets above. How are you going to define your space here?
Could I,
You got to use like chalk or salt or incense or something. How are you going to define the space?
let's see.
I'm going to assume that you have the materials to do it. Just tell me how you want to do it.
Just like in the area, not far, like around where we are, like a small circle around us.
Okay, with like chalk or something.
Yeah, chalk.
Okay, perfect. So you actually find a little side, it was probably a drain at some point. You don't see any signs that anything has moved down this passage in any length of time, and it's dried out. Okay, so it's basically, I mean, don't get it wet necessarily, but it's basically hard packed clay. So you draw a circle around the area and do a sanctuary. Go ahead and give me a spell roll, please. And it's dried out. Oh, beautiful. Yep, works like a charm. Okay, so and that's going to give you, go ahead and click on the sanctuary spell so I can see the full effects. Oh, I probably shouldn't sing that. That's a licensed property. Okay, so as long as you stay within. Oh, anyone healing within the sanctuary gets an additional 1d4. Okay, so who's making with the healing? Was that our good brother Xander?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Go ahead and give me hands of grace, please. Okay, mark XP. All right. So go ahead and give me 2d4. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Ranveer, you heal 2 points of damage. Your call, Xander. You're either going to take 4 points of damage, no armor, or you can take 2 points of damage and take a debility of my choice.
Okay. I'd rather take the 4 points of damage because I do have full health right now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
So yeah, some of your wounds disappear, Ranveer, and they reappear on Xander's unmarked skin. They look pretty bad, and it obviously causes some pain. Who else is doing stuff?
Who else
Uh,
has low hit points?
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm almost at max.
Ranveer,
Okay.
you just got stomped. That was the issue.
Yep.
Yeah. Could I use a healing spell on myself?
Of course. Of course. So go ahead and give me another spell roll, please. Excuse me. Wong. Okay, works just fine. You can either lose access to the healing spell until you've had a chance to rest. You may take -1 ongoing to cast spells, or you can gain some unwanted attention, or something interesting happens, or somehow you have transgressed to your patron. What would your choice be?
Knowing I don't know when we're gonna rest next in this scenario, so I don't, and losing our like primary healing spell is not a good idea. I'm gonna say interesting.
Something interesting happens. Wonderful. Okay, so roll your healing.
What is that?
I don't know. Click on the spell. Was this moderate?
Moderate, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a lot. I think it's like 2d8, but go ahead and click it. Do, 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 do.
Yeah, 2d8.
Ranveer in your spells. God sanctify cure matter. Oh, give me 10 seconds here. Just 1 sec. I just wanted to click
I got
on
it.
that. Thank you. Okay, so now I got it. Tee. All right, so 2d8 plus 1d4. So go ahead and hit it. Okay, and 1d4.
13.
Wonderful. So you heal 13 hits. Also, you are quite hungry. Are you going to be doing any more healing spells, or do you want to eat and drink now?
I'm gonna eat and drink now.
Okay, cool. So, by the way, if anybody needs to roll multiple dice, and you're going to use the rolling thing, so you can do D6 plus D14 or whatever, D19. So all you got to do is put plus, and it can do the various things there. Okay, so how are you feeling, Ranveer?
Much better.
Much better. Awesome. Okay. So how do you proceed? The passage extends west out of your line of sight, and it also extends east out of your line of sight based on your lantern light and globe light.
Actually, before we do that, it was something I did last time. I don't know if it officially carried over or if we fully went through it, but I wanted to essentially scavenge one of the hands of the fish people.
Oh, the fish people? Okay.
Not again.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this. They're sort of bluish. They're slim. There's less bone mass to them, and the palm part is not particularly meaty, but the fingers are slightly elongated and they are webbed. So this would be a really good paddle pusher underwater. The
'Cause-
feet are very similar. Yes?
Because mostly I'm doing it for the reason is that they seem to be poisonous. Because
They had
Albrecht was
the-
poisoned by one of the fish people when they slashed him.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yep. Yeah, you weren't bitten, were you?
No, I was slashed on the
Fine.
side.
Okay, yeah, okay. So you can look into that. Also, the long arm ghouls, one of the things you did notice, they don't pay as much attention to your armor as you might like. The claws may actually be armor piercing in a way. So, all right. So you've recovered a hand of a fish person. It might start to smell after some point if you can't think of a way to smoke it or dry it or something. Bury it in sand for a week or two, something. All right.
Okay.
So proceeding from here, what do you do? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Guys,
Okay. Okay. Um, if you play around with it a little bit and like go off a ways and have people move around you, um, yeah, it's pretty sensitive. Um, so yes, you think. Oh, also, you've noticed if you focus your attention in a certain direction, you think it's going to extend the sense that farther in that direction at the cost of the other surroundings. So it's still going to cover like the same amount of area. It's just, are you focusing it in a particular zone? All right. So what are y'all doing?
our options are
Currently, yes.
right to your left.
Well, you see, right is always wrong, so we should go left.
Yeah, let's go left.
Okay. So you're heading west, actually. Is that correct?
Oh, you mean? Oh, no, to the east. I thought you meant like.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
pointing-
Yeah.
We're already
Yeah.
going east.
Oh. No worries at all. Okay. So yes. So broadly east. All righty. Let's see. Well, the most interesting thing that happens next is you come to an intersection, and the intersection is unusual. You don't even know. It's not 90 degrees. It is another one of these wide passages, but it comes off of the main line at a very sharp angle, like so. So the passage continues off to the east, again, main passage. It's got side sewers coming in, and again, sometimes storm drains above, 99% blocked with like dirt and dust and crud. But it does have the passageway going off to the southwest, similar in size. What do you do?
I'm just following. I got no opinion. Let's just go places and kill stuff.
I just like.
You think you're picking up some movement behind you, actually. You sense like one thing moving, but it stops when you all stop.
So I think I'm gonna tell Albrecht that since he's behind me, and then just kind of ask him to go tell the other people. Them really handle this.
I
We-
have an idea.
What's that?
I would say maybe split off
Nope.
3-1.
Nope.
Where no, you don't want to confront the thing.
We are not splitting up.
Look, you're saying
Well-
like if I walked forward, then maybe.
Yeah, as in like
Oh.
I would say maybe Albrecht stays behind. You three just like keep walking straight, and then hopefully the monster will keep going. We can
Right.
cover it on both sides.
I'd be okay with that as long as. How far does?
Right at the very, very edge of detection.
I think wasn't how far was the detection range again?
Um,
'Cause I think they
In-
gave us a number last time.
yeah, in a big circle, like maybe 20 yards, you might be able to push it out to 60 or 80 in one focused direction.
Okay. I think we do try to confront this. Let's keep going forward though. In terms of like the next hotspot, and then stop if I detect anything in front of us and Albrecht hasn't yelled or punched or like made any noise behind us, then we just go back to Albrecht. Basically like a rat.
Okay, so you're seeing if you can get this thing to move, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the plan so far seems to work. You move forward, walking along the edges of the sewer tunnel here. You get a certain distance away, pause for a second. You're not hearing anything behind you like combat. You check your sensor rod there. You don't see anything. Head back to Albrecht. As soon as you're almost back to Albrecht, you pick up something out there, and it appears to be two somethings now.
So I'll land it. Here's my thought process. Let's just keep going. Let's ignore it. I mean, I honestly think we could totally ignore this and deal with what's in front of us. Because if it's behind us, yeah, there's a chance that it like joins in and like we get squished and pinched. But also, if we go back there now, there's a chance that the ghouls could come up behind us. So I feel like us going forward is one of the best options.
I mean, the thing that Albrecht might be concerned about is that now they've doubled. There's
Yeah.
2 of them.
But do you
And-
think it's the fishmen or do you think it's ghouls? I think it's fishmen.
I would have no. Albrecht would have no idea. But it seems like they didn't really move along when everybody else went. So it seems like it doesn't matter if anyone stays behind. So it's either we confront them or we keep going.
I think we keep.
Rather not get ambushed from behind,
Mm-hmm.
especially
Okay.
considering I'm the behind. So that's just
Okay.
my idea.
All right, well then let's go charge at them then. See what happens. So we're just gonna turn around.
Okay.
Reverse our order.
So who's going to be in front then? Xander, followed by.
Actually, I think let's put the 2 squishy people in the middle and have
I
Xander in
agree.
front, Albrecht in back.
Okay, cool. All right, so you're leading the charge. Okay, let's see. So give me an observe roll, Xander. Isn't that based on? Beautiful. Okay, about average. All right, so you go charging up, and you notice the obvious things. Um, trying to take them unaware. I'm assuming you're going to lower or douse light sources until the last minute. You hear something moving, the lights come on, and there's a couple of those long arm ghouls. Um, they're they're actually a little surprised. So you've got two of them. You're going to be able to make the first attack if you want. What do you do, Xander?
Yeah, I think
Huzzah! Go ahead and give me a brawl roll, please. What job? All right, so you can deal damage and avoid the counter attack, or you can deal extra damage. Your call.
well, I still have that invincibility thing, so I'm not take damage from flash. So I think I'll just go for the extra damage this time.
Wonderful. So
So,
it's an immunity to slashing weapons. You say?
I think it's
uh,
immunity to natural
immunity.
weapons.
Like basically, you told me I basically armor, but not the actual
Okay,
run around.
cool, cool. Sharpness, but not mass. Got it. Go ahead.
Right. So extra DC.
Mhm. Correct. Boom. And do you have any extras on your damage?
Let's see here. I have in the front. I should have the. Yeah.
Is that
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So we all have +1 armor and +1 D4 harm there.
and that's an ongoing. That's not something you
So
need to roll.
the extra D4 is on the first attack, but the +1 armor is on go.
Oh.
Then yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I've had to really stand in battle, or I
Okay.
don't know if once more would apply. So
Gotcha. All right. So, yeah, you basically cut this thing in half, collarbone out the other side hip. Um, black Icarus blood sprays everywhere. And the counterattack. Give me a quick roll, please. Okay, mark XP. You thought you were braced for it, and it spun and came at you the other direction. You were knocked down and skidding away. Give me like a D4, please. Okay, take 3 points of concussion damage. Do not apply armor since it was a full body squish. All right, so Randveer, Luther, and Albrecht, you see Xander run up, cut one of these things in half, and the other one knocks him probably 5 feet that way onto his face. What do you do? Randveer, what are you doing?
I think I'm gonna cast magic weapon, like the holy version on my
Okay,
crossbow.
okay. Do it.
I have the +1, right?
From
that's
Yeah.
for
Xander.
the attack. I don't know
Okay,
if it's
yeah, for the attack, not for the spellcasting.
got it.
Good call. Wait. Does it say +1 to the attack or +1 forward?
I think it's just +1 to the. I can scroll.
Okay.
It is just +1 D4 harm attack.
Okay.
If I had
Yeah.
if I'd been like, oh, you take that one, you take that one, it would have been +1 on.
Got it.
Okay. Cool. All right, so that works beautifully. Which negative effect do you want to take?
Again, something interesting. I can't
Okay.
lose.
Okay. So you're casting it as you're loading the crossbow, and this whole chorus, okay, and think of like Dies Irae, just ringing, it comes up like a training montage, and you take sight. All right, go ahead and give me a let fly roll, please. At +1. Ooh, anybody want to bump that? Currently, it's a 6. Needs to be a 7 to hit.
He's buddy.
Can somebody bump that?
Sure. What do I have to do?
Proper drop. And if you've got any, even if you don't have any blood with him, you're going to roll and add the number of blood you have. Okay. Luther, you're going to take some badness, whatever happens. So both of you need to mark XP. Ranveer, go ahead and give me a damage roll plus the magic weapon.
Well, how much blood is there between Luther and Ranveer?
Only one.
And you picked Ranveer when the proper drop came
Yeah.
up? Okay, so it is a solid 6. Okay, so give me some damage there, Ranveer. Okay, and then plus 1d. Is it 1d4 or 1d6?
I think with the holy it's
1d4.
1d6.
Okay, so 1d6. All right, 7 points of damage. Ranveer, your call. You're either going to take that or Luther is going to take that.
Luther will take it.
Okay. Yeah, Luther, you're trying to help. Ranveer turns suddenly, you don't know what happens. Basically, that bolt goes straight through your foot. Chud! 7 points of damage. Owie, owie. And since you were propping him, Albrecht, what are you doing? The twins are getting up to their usual shenanigans. And Xander is face planted but getting up. What do you do?
Albrecht is going to charge forward and use his hammer on the ghoul.
Whatcha? Give me a brawl, please. Wham! Son of a biscuit. All right, so full damage or extra damage?
Wait, weapon specialization as well.
Oh, what's the weapon specialization?
With the hammer, staggered. Your foe is staggered in daze, or their armor is reduced by 1.
It does have armor. Do you have that augmented already?
No.
Oh, okay.
I accidentally added that later. If I was going to augment it, I'd put augmented next to brawl.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. So you want to do regular damage, extra damage, or what?
Let's do.
Getting an extra D4 already.
Yeah.
Let's do extra damage. Let's see how high I can get this number.
Boom. Okay. So give me your regular damage plus 1d4 plus 1d6.
Plus another 1d4 for merciless.
Oh, mercy. Okay. So 5.
So 5, and then gonna roll 2d4
12.
plus 1d6.
Mercy. Okay, 14. Yes, you basically plus with the knockback, etc., or the armor, you basically crush this thing's skull up against the wall.
Mm.
I mean, just with the carry through, it does do a counterattack with a slash at the same time. So go ahead and give me a 1d8, please.
Okay. Roll a 1. That's a 4.
Oh, okay. That's going to be 8 points of damage, 1 armor piercing. So apply armor, but apply 1 less.
Okay, so 8 damage. So that's 5, I think, because it would be 3 armor.
Okay. So you have 4 armor total?
Yes, because of the Into the Breach.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. So yeah, 5 points of damage. And the ghoul peril is no more. Whoever was thinking about ghouls earlier, yeah, they like to do that. If one of them spots you, they gather friends and family until they outnumber you by about 3 to 1, and that's when they ambush you. So you nipped that in the bud very quickly. All right, so that was exciting. What do you do from here?
I'm gonna heal Luther.
Go for it.
I mean,
Are we?
I mean, I don't need healing. I'll
I
take.
just checked
gonna-
your health.
Are we good to go
You're
back
fine.
though? Like just back on our normal path again? Just
I think so.
Where's that spell?
So
Sounds good to me.
Oh, that's
who needs to do a spell roll, please?
I am sorry.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Damn.
And 2d8, please. Ouch. That's 2d6. Give me 2d8, please.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Ah, much better. And I'll even give you this one. If you want, you can split that 11 points of healing between Luther and Albrecht, if you want.
How much did Albert take him?
I took 5.
And what's your max health?
So I have 20 out of 26.
All right, no, all of it will go to Luther.
Beautiful. So Luther's all healed up then, I would presume. How much was that over and above your total hits?
Exactly 22.
Oh, perfect. So you're all healed. Hee. All right. So continuing on east, yes?
Mhm.
Okay. So proceeding slowly yet deliberately. What are you doing at that intersection?
What's the rod say anything either way?
Might be some movement to the southwest. But if it is, again, it's on the very fringes.
We move southwest, kind of like watch our back. Or do we just clear what they told us to clear? Hit all 3 of the entrances. I'm pretty sure the strongest entrance is the last one down the line, furthest to the east, as like the. We just keep going and just try to wipe out as many as possible. Hopefully, hoping they get. We just like systematically eradicate.
I mean, I'm just wondering if just the chances of an ambush from people coming from the split off.
Right.
Do we know if there's like a central point where they're coming from?
Good question. Your buddy said the ghouls had started digging into old tunnels that connected to the academy that the academics have since collapsed. Evidently, they've got some explosive alchemical compounds, and they were able to bring down these claw dug tunnels on their attackers. But they seem to think the bulk of the attacks were coming from the east. And that was actually the direction that they pointed you. Again, Ranveer, you're thinking the other problem with ghouls is that they form like tribes and they're also extremely territorial. So they'll spend as much time fighting and eating each other as they do going out looking for more prey. So you got that to consider.
Could we
Go.
possibly cause like infighting among ghouls? Like maybe seem like one tribe is encroaching on another through our own actions and cause them to fight each other.
They're at a war right now. Pretty sure the Skullbreakers, Blood Drink. I don't know where the border is, but I know those two. We learned that, I think.
Yep. From your Reiki friend.
And if these like tribes have like calling cards that they do when they kill, we could try to mimic that and cause like the war to explode, cause them to kill each other.
The issue though is if that will they also encroach on ground people? That would be my concern. That by like pushing territory, not just pushing in, it would also like push outwards, try and like be.
Good point.
So, actually, that's a wonderful point. Have we seen any like signs of pressures? They had any like? I think you said colored.
Yeah. Yeah. You do see in this intersection space now that you're looking for it. You do see some markings on the wall that look like crude skulls with a jagged line coming down through them. Oh, and over you see something white in the dim light. Over on the side, there's a humanoid skull sitting on top of the ledge, and it's been crushed in. Mm-hmm.
I like the idea, Ranveer, but I don't know. Already out. I don't know. I feel like we just have to do kind of what the team did and kill a whole bunch of them. Which Albrecht can do, because as a man, very faithful about certain things, I don't think Xander would be comfortable messing with like bodies and give away, like, hey, don't come back here.
I mean, Ranveer is kind of with you on that.
Albrecht and Luther can do it because it might need to be done, but I think we wait until we get to the next one.
Okay. I will say, by my count, you've got 5 or 6 dead ghouls to work your magic on. All right. So again, continuing east or southwest?
I think east.
I
Guys.
also think east.
East.
Okay. All right. So you're heading down east. Keeping an eye on the motion tracker. You're not seeing anything immediately. You think you're getting close to that second entryway that they told you about? And right to the south here, you see signs of like a collapsed tunnel coming off here to the southwest, like that. It's there were signs that there was a tunnel there and recent signs of collapse. Since it's heading straight into Academy territory, you think that was one of the ones that they collapsed. So, go ahead.
I totally forgot that we could. What about you guys? Because we could have collapsed the one.
Wouldn't that lock us in?
No, because we could try and like, I don't know. I just totally forgot about that. I think I.
We can
Right.
get them on the way back.
Yeah.
Okay. Continuing on, you said? Okay, cool. All right. So you come to the next section. Again, you find that one, it was probably a service ladder. It's not directly central, it's over on one side. But it's a fairly sturdy metal ladder with wide rungs. Looks pretty easy to climb up and down, even if you're carrying like tools and stuff. And it goes up to another one of those manhole type entryways. You think this is based on where you've been walking. You think this is the second entryway that the academics were talking about. You looking up, you do know that you do notice that it's got a trap wired up to it. So pretty
There wasn't
nasty
already,
looking. I'm sorry, what?
if there wasn't already a trap there, I'd say we should.
Okay. This one looks ghoul make. Yeah. It's got it's made of like sinew and bone, and there's this jagged bone that looks like it's set on some sort of springy material. Anybody coming through that down the ladder stands a chance of getting this jagged piece of bone about a foot long jammed into them at speed. So
Okay, could we try and this came to me. You guys think about a trap for one of the larger explosives we have to shut down the tunnel? Like if they try to use access, would they try coming from below or above? Is that obvious?
I think the goals go from below to above.
typically, yes, but they're also like roving packs that are up on the surface during the night.
So my thought process, it's like a manhole cover. We can somehow wire it to where move the manhole cover or something like that the drops detonates below, can like possibly collapse the tunnel. To them, one either kills just one or it kills a whole bunch of them. That like starts to do that whole like, well, now our normal areas are trapped, kind of like Tinker mindset.
Paranoia.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, no theoretical bias against it. Who wants to wire up the trap?
I feel like
Yeah, you didn't think about that part, did you?
I didn't. That's the part. What
I can attempt it.
skill would it be?
I'm sorry, Ranveer, you said what?
I can attempt it. What skill?
Well, normally that would be tricks of the trade, from your from a reclaimer or thiefy type. Well, okay, I'm gonna put this back on you. How were you thinking about doing it? What sort of mechanism? From what Xander was saying, it's just if the manhole moves, it just drops the thing, hopefully detonating it when it hits the ground.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound particularly difficult. So let's see.
Should we wait to do that until we're on our way back so it doesn't collapse behind us?
But part of what I wanted to set this off now, it all might stop someone getting behind. Yeah, we are moving towards, but that might be some. Don't have to sit it.
Okay. All right. So proceeding on. The signs of the local tribe are getting more frequent. At one point, you find a body of a ghoul. It's stretched out with its arms like this, and the skull has there isn't another mark on it, but the skull has obviously been crushed by repeated poundings with some sort of rock or other item, and it's on the wall. It's like oh, that's it. Somebody's taken the claws and embedded them in the wall, so it's like hanging by its own hands on the side of this sewer way. Pretty obviously a a territorial marker. What do y'all do?
Is the motion rod giving me?
Oh, give me an observe roll, please. No, mark XP.
Oh, no movement. Going.
Okay. So, you're seeing, it's starting to get a little more, it looks less just like a highway down here. It's starting to look like burrows and hives. There's some digging into the sides of the wall. It's usually fairly near like a support arch or a support beam. Digging a big hole, hollowing out some areas for warrens and things. Some of the digging looks relatively fresh. It slows you down in this section a lot because nobody wants to get ambushed. The living spaces don't show a lot of signs of living. It's like the ghoul equivalent of a housing development that nobody's moved into yet. There's spaces to live, there's bolt holes, there's places to jump out and attack people and ambush them, but there isn't anybody in here. Okay, whatever that means. And about that time you reach that third entryway. And another way up. This one is actually a little like a spiral staircase, and it goes up. You think it goes up past ground level, so there's probably some kind of shack or maintenance thing or something up there. So, what do you do?
We need to. Okay, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, what do you guys think?
I would assume they're behind us again.
What is the motion?
You see some motion again at the edge of detection up in front of you. Many moving figures going from, if you're facing east, it's going from north to south, and they're moving quite quickly. It's maybe 10 or 12. Yeah. And you think like, depending how far away that is, that might be at like a dead run. What do you do?
Go for it.
12 of them?
Like,
They don't like fire.
I was gonna say, Luther, just you want to go ahead and
At the very least, we take one of the smaller explosive crystals and
All right. So you follow the passage. You think you figured out which way is the north and which way is the south. You're at a cross intersection. Passages to north, south, and east. So it looks like whoever was moving here, whatever group was moving here, was coming at speed from the north and heading at speed to the south. Anybody who wants to give me an observe roll can.
I
Anybody?
can do it.
Okay. Okay. And that's when you hear like the slap, slap, slap of many feet coming south down this passageway, heading straight toward your intersection. What do you do?
okay. Thoughts. Luther. Blow him
What's
up.
up? I
Or
could do that.
throw a bunch of fire at him. Or we just take out the whole passage,
On top of them,
top of him.
do we know we have the firepower to do that? Because like, if we throw the
do
boom
have the.
and it doesn't cause a cave-in, it could be a big issue.
I think we do know that the small ones like, would hurt them and cause a little bit of rumble, and the big ones.
Don't you only have like one or two of the really big ones? Like one?
So I think
I have 3 of the big ones.
Oof. Okay. So you got multiple footsteps approaching at speed. What do you do?
I can do it.
Okay, what are you doing, Luther?
I guess I'll take one of the big explosive gems, throw it, and then explode it.
Oh, so throw it north into the dark and then follow it up with a fireball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna take cover.
Okay, good call. Good call. All right, so go ahead and give me a let's call it a let fly. Okay.
Epic.
Whoops. Mark XP. All
Can
right.
I prop that?
And then yes, you may.
Oh, wait a second. Hear me out. Can I use my ability of? Yeah. Oh, we're not in battle. We're not.
Oh, wait, but you were giving instructions for an incipient battle. I'll count it.
Okay, so that's +1. So that's a 7.
That's
Already
a seven.
have.
Okay. That works. Okay. So do not mark experience then. So so you huck it. You might not have yeeted that thing as far as you would have liked, let's just say. All right. And then give me a Heartblade roll, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he was going to use a big one. All right. Mercy. Okay, so Heartblade, you get
There's no change if it's an 11.
no.
No. I believe I get 2 tags.
Yes. What does that affect? Choose 1d8 damage. I'm not reading that one right. Let's see. Let me look that up. Which
I'm obviously gonna want to throw it,
obviously.
and then I think removing the dangerous tag would be the best option.
Well, that was very smart. Let's see here. So Heartblade, Fiery Hand, dangerous, 3 uses. Each attack uses 1 use. And you get to choose 2, correct. Alrighty. So you're gonna do thrown and remove the dangerous tag. Awesome. All right, so go ahead. Give me one more let fly roll, please. Boom. Oh, mercy. Okay. So go ahead and give me a D8. Okay. So there's good news and bad news. The good news is you don't injure anybody else in the group besides yourself. You remove the dangerous tag, so it's not as bad. You're the only one who's going to reap the benefit of this. The second piece of good news, you're not in the blast radius of the big one because it goes real hard. Ba-boom. Okay. So there's a blinding double flash. There's the first flash of your Heartblade, which washes over you for 5 points of damage. However, Fire Within, when you take an odd amount of damage, you can either add 1d4 uses to your Heartblade, You can add 1d4 forward to summon your Heartblade the next time, or you can reduce the damage by 1d4. Your call.
I think I'll do it for next time.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a d4, please. Oh, okay. So for your next Heartblade summoning roll, you get to add 3. Awesome. So you take 5 points of damage, apply armor if required, and in the double flash, the second one illuminates for just a moment. This tunnel just swarming with ghouls. Okay, they're this massive. I mean, they're just wall to wall, scuttling along the sides, and every eye lights up and flashes green, like you're looking at 100 cats in the dark. If cats were slightly larger and slightly more prone to kill you and eat you, what am I saying? They're cats. They would do that anyway. And the whole thing blows up, and you see, oh, okay, the purple-ish light of your Heartblade. It just sucks one up and it implodes instantly. But when it sets off the big boom, they just fly back. The ones closest to it incinerate to ash, and then the entire tunnel collapses. Every one of you is knocked off your feet from the concussion. Bits and pieces are bouncing and rolling past you. But yeah, that passageway is well and truly sealed, and you probably killed like conservatively 20, maybe 40 of these long arms under here. So the dust settles. What do you do?
Careful of survivors. I don't think there's any, but gotta be careful. Just while you guys do stuff, I think Xander's just gonna be like holding the motion rod at the rubble to see if there's anything been around in there.
You think you pick up something on the far side of the collapse? But yeah, it's not close.
Great.
Problem solved.
There were a bunch of them that ran south, correct?
Correct.
They are for sure coming back here. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Sure.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you're waiting there in the dim and the dark, waiting and waiting and waiting, and nothing happens. What do you do?
Does the motion rod south say?
No, not that you can see.
We move south, guys? Ready for this perspective?
Well,
If
that other group, like you said, is surely going to be back soon. So do we beat them to the punch?
let's just go south. Yeah. Let's.
Okay. Whoever's in front, please give me an observe roll, please. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all.
Oh.
You don't see anything.
Yeah, mark XP. All right. So you're heading south. Um, every time your motion detector picks up movement, whatever it or they are runs away. So either you're not traveling as quietly as you wanted to, or yeah, so you're never getting more than 50. You're never getting closer than 50 yards to any of these things, whatever they are in the distance. And you've probably gone a good couple of blocks. The passage yawns ahead of you blackly to the south and vaguely west. What do you do?
Ran this way. We're gonna.
Okay. So you run into another one of those collapsed tunnels that the academics told you about. Again, fairly sizable, and it again, you can see where it intersected. I'm going to do a different tunnel. Okay. And again, whatever is ahead of you is fleeing still. What do you do?
Have to go on. Just,
Well, could they be
Yeah, could they
leading
be
us?
just like leading us into like a
That's true.
trap?
like a Han Solo moment.
They keep running.
Are they still 40 of them and there's 20 left? Or are they still 40 of them and there's 1,000 of them?
That's always a question, isn't it?
I feel like we just until bad happens.
But if something bad happens, will we be able to react if there's like hundreds?
True. If you want to do it.
Well, I think if something bad happens, we just use the other explosive crystal.
Might be too close.
Got 2 more big ones and
I can do an observe roll.
Okay, hit me. Oh, wonderful. What were your 3 questions?
What should I be looking out for?
Okay. What you should be looking out for is a lot of wounded. You're noticing that you're stepping on a lot of sticky spots that looks like multiple blood trails. All right. So whoever was running like hell from north to south, many of them are injured. You see like black and bloody footprints. And yeah. Somebody was running from a fight. Next question.
blood.
Cool blood, yes. Next
I want
question.
to throw out the hypothesis that we may have actually interrupted their turf war. Keep going.
What's my enemy's true position?
Your enemy's true position. Well, there's the enemy to the north. That probably has a stronghold up there, past the collapsed tunnel. And your other enemy probably has hidey holes and places to lick their wounds and come back stronger to the south of you. I think you think you're right. You think you semi-interrupted a fairly sizable battle between 2 factions.
That can make us target of both.
And your third question, Bob?
What was the last significant event to happen here?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this was it. You're delving in. All right. So, knowing what you know, let's call it 40. 40 ghouls were heading south in pursuit. Of more than 10 but less than 20 other ghouls. Okay. You're counting like at least 6 or 7 walking wounded, which probably means some of them didn't make it north of you. So ghouls tend to only attack when they've got about 3-to-1 odds in their favor. So if 12 ran away, yeah, that scans 36 to 40 heading south. All right. So yeah, you're seeing the fleeing signs of about a dozen ghouls, half of which are wounded. That is the most significant event that's happened here recently. All right, so what do you do?
I say we keep going, guys.
If they're wounded, that means it's most likely not a trap, more of a retreat. And if we can strike them when they're reeling, that could remove the threat on one direction.
So what do you
And
do?
If these guys are headed south, or hidey hole is, the other guys were north. You're in the midst of a turf war. Makes one of their strongholds also be south, so it might are also best to keep going south, block up that tunnel. Well, I think we just got to keep going south.
Alrighty. Any dissent?
Really, no.
I mean,
It is. All right. So, who's in front again? Okay, Xander, give me a sharp roll, please. Okay, mark experience. You hit a tripwire, and the tripwire is a double whammy. You literally trip on the tripwire and fall on your face. However, you hit a second tripwire about 2 feet off the ground, about chest. So it's about 5 feet away from the first one, 4.5. So you land on the second one, which pulls the blocks out, and a section of wall falls on you. Go ahead and give me a D10, please. Ouch. 8 points of damage. Do not apply armor.
Digits.
Okay. And yeah, now the rest of the wall doesn't come down. This was anybody looking, somebody's piled these up specifically to look like part of the wall, but they're not. But yeah, this is very definitely a trap of some sort. Oh, and you're also at an intersection. Again, it continues south, but there's also major passage off to the west. Now, you're getting into burrow territory here again. You've got a lot of passages dug into the wall. From the way you've seen these things move, since they do have long arms, they have a tendency to do the knuckle running as well. So most of the passages are significantly shorter than you. They're slightly wider than a regular person, but they're short. So even one of these ghouls running on its knuckles would be able to just run right into these things. Most of the Warren lair type digging is on the eastern side of this, and it starts about, let's see, do this in yellow. It starts about, actually just a little bit north of that passageway. So it's like that. So all of that, the yellow there is the beginnings of like a warren.
Ranveer.
Of course.
Okay.
All right.
Roll 'em. Okay.
I'm so
Are we going to go with the something interesting again?
yeah. I can't
Okay.
lose access.
Give me 2d8, please. Okay, you heal 12. Your healing energies go in resonance with Xander's. You lay a hand on his shoulder, and the healing energies start coursing through him. But there's a circuit. It's like it's going out one finger and up the other, and it's running through you as well. And the two of you, to any observers, you start to glow, and the glow gets brighter and brighter, and there's a hum that comes with it. Uh, Xander, your armor starts to shake in this hum. It starts to vibrate. You've got a shield, right? Oh, okay. It starts humming like a rung gong, not the boing part, but the ung afterwards. And this sound is echoing off the walls, and everything is in resonance. Your hair is standing straight up, and you have to like rip free even the light contact. It's like pulling two strong magnets apart, really difficult, and you both fall backwards in the energies on this. Yeah, that was loud, and bright. And you hear the echoes coming back for a little while. Hee hee. So what do you do?
Motion on the rod.
Um, yes, actually. There's apparently some hubbub going off to the west.
Go.
You smell something. You smell something wet and rank and like low tide kind of a thing.
Do we go west then? I think we go west. We follow the motion.
I agree.
Okay. So, as you continue along, there's sort of a slope downward. It's not particularly pronounced at first until the collapse happens. Again, the sewer tunnels are about 10 feet up. The big ones, the side passage is a lot smaller. But there's a place where it looks like it's subsided. The whole thing just fell straight down like 5 feet. So it's passage, rubble and scree, some of which has been cleared out, obviously been cleared out. But the rest of the passageway is about 5 feet lower than where you're at. And that starts right about here. Okay. So two other exciting things. Right before the subsistence, there are many prominent of those broken skull signs, tribal signs. The ones closest to this area, though, are scratched over with multiple like scratchy lines, like somebody was doing a half attempt to like dig them off the wall, but it's like a big X with multiple sharp objects. Looks like claws. And the other thing, you smell wet. It smells like water or something that used to be something approximating water down below there.
assuming that could mean the fish people
The
again.
people.
So do we want to pursue that? I mean, it's not the ghouls.
I agree. I don't think we go after fish for right now. Maybe we tell, hey, there's
So many
Yeah,
people.
I think we go.
Okay. Okay. So, the trail has gotten a little cold at this point. You are not sensing any motion. Oh, the motion that you sensed over this way, you think was well down that passageway into the wet area. Okay, just as an FYI. Again, you're not seeing a whole hell of a lot of signs of anything ghoul related here. I mean, again, plenty of stuff dug into the walls and whatnot, but nothing no moving bodies. I was going to say warm bodies, but that's kind of a joke. All right, so next up, you bump into another one of these intersections. There was a big fight here, and not long ago. There's black blood and like a bluish ichor sprayed all over this intersection. This was a pitched fight. Lots of bodies on both sides. But no bodies like remaining. So whoever won, somebody was around long enough to recover bodies. Ghouls, that usually means good eaten. You don't know the bluish Icarus blood. Albrecht, give me a observe roll, please.
Okay.
Okay, good enough. Yeah, the bluish, sticky blood, that's probably fish people.
Now
So
that's
a battle
interesting.
between the fish people and the ghouls.
The people.
The people.
Indeed, the people.
Okay.
How, like, conscious did the fish people act when we first met them last time?
How conscious?
Kind of like
How sentient are they?
sentient, yeah.
Oh, well, they were carrying bags. They had like belts and straps and carrying gear. Relatively big skulls, if you wanted to be taxonomic about it. I mean, not they acted, quote unquote, smarter than animals.
Good.
I'm
Now,
sorry.
I'm always a sucker for
Mhm.
diplomacy,
Mm-hmm.
but could we see if we can try to enlist the Feeples to help against the ghouls?
I think that's a wonderful idea. Talking about the fish hand in the have a fish like that gives away.
Well, he doesn't have it strapped to his chest. It's wrapped up someplace.
True. I don't know. They kind of pounced on us. Wait for. And what's our
Sure.
bit of war with the
If they join our side, we can get rid of them quicker. More domain
True.
for them.
But what would that? Like we're just replacing the.
I mean, if the Feeples are like less animalistic than ghouls are, it could open the door for more possibility of coexistence.
So do we go back then to the water area and go? How do we?
That's the issue.
So the battle that happened can you tell who won by like there's blue blood going one way or there's like going one the
Oh, yeah, Albrecht's looking around. You got enough for one question along those lines. What was the most recent thing to happen here, kind of a thing. All right. This fight, you think the ghouls won. Apparently, there was again a large group of fishy people, a large group of ghouls. The ghouls took a beating, but you think they won based on the fact that there's a bunch of drag marks. And the drag marks look like dragging away things to eat later. You know, food draggy marks. And those are all heading what you think is deeper into ghoul territory.
which way does that appear to be?
It's the southeast, not the due south.
At the end of the day, they wanted us to deal with the ghouls. They never said anything about the fish people. So if the people did replace the ghouls, not our problem.
Right. I also think we need what their approach to the because if we just engage in without asking the academics like they might be
You know the Feeple exist.
right. That's my concern. I don't want to make a decision for them.
If they would have known about their existence, they probably would have said something.
I think we go and we handle the ghoul back and handle the ghoul. Also, if they're like, yes, handle the fish, then maybe we come back. Maybe we get more elemental instants. Yeah, I think you guys good thing.
Sure.
Sure.
So,
Okay. So, again, you think you're a little bit deeper into ghoul territory. Your motion detector, you're seeing some activity north of you in these hives. Okay. The problem with them is they're low. You'd have to be hunched over to go in them, and there's no rhyme or reason. I mean, none of these little passages go in farther than like 10 feet before they take a hard left or a hard right or a hard up or a hard down. Okay. And Ranveer, you're of a slightly scientific bent. You're like, okay, if I had arms that were 1.5 feet longer than my own, and I was immensely strong, and I had these awesome claws, what could I do? I could climb, I could dig, I could go up stakes, yeah. This is going to be like an anthill, right? So again, you're seeing activity to the north of you inside the Warren, but you're not seeing anything to the south or east or west, basically. What do you do?
So, just charging into the warren is like not a great plan.
Um, basically, if you want to think about, there have been several armed conflicts in the world where people dig tunnels, and the specialty fighters there were called tunnel rats. Yeah, fist fights and knife fights in the dark, not fun at all. Yeah, and things like traps and could collapse in the space. Yeah, just 101 tons of no fun whatsoever.
Does
Typically,
war-
what do you do? It's dug into rock and earth. So you're not seeing anything immediately flammable. So not at this point. I mean, if you could somehow work up a good head of sewer gas or something, you might be able to pop off some methane, but not currently.
Absolutely, we still have it.
Yeah.
is that poison combustible?
Where'd you get the poison gas again?
It was
Uh,
from the
Dominion holdout.
outpost.
Oh,
It was the one attached to the saddle trap.
yeah. You don't know. Um, you don't know if it's flammable. What effect were you trying to achieve?
My goal would basically could somehow like get some of them to come to us, eat our chest, whatever, then have deploy the gas, let it kind of seep the warren, the immediate warren, have that catch on fire while we're fighting hopefully catching some fire, having them either scurry throughout, catching other things on fire if there is other things to catch on fire, or just burning and
Huh. Um, yeah, you don't know. And part of the problem is um, messing around with it to see if it's flammable means you're standing around a lot of toxic gas.
Mhm.
So if you can figure out a way to do that safely, I'm open to suggestion.
Would
But
my lantern know?
no, as far as your lantern, um, hmm. Well, wait. Let me think. Give me a recall roll there, Luther. Mark XP. Yeah, you don't know. The problem is you're a little overeducated on this. There's lots of things that'll catch fire. There's a lot of things that are poisonous. It's not a great overlap. And part of the other problem is some of the toxins that are flammable will aerosolize the rest of the toxin when they go. So yeah, it'll half burn and half blow heated toxic gases everywhere, and you're not sure what this one is. So
Yeah, so the risk is too great.
Pretty funny.
What about just some of the normal crystal booms?
okay, we got two of
We could
those.
just like pop them into the warren.
That's true. Do we pop one into the warren, see if it stirs them up, and have them come out? Or do we pop both of them in the warren at the same time? Try and like collapse some of okay, how much motion was I detecting? I think
lots. Yeah, you haven't, okay, since again it's on the edge of your detection, you see like 3 or 4 moving around, and then you look over here and there's 3 or 4, and you come back and those 3 or 4 are missing, and you come back over here and there's like 6 now, but it was 2 of those and 4 of these, and you go back over here and now there's like 5, and you go back here and there's none. So yeah, it's not granular enough to tell you. Well, I will tell you there's plenty of space for 12 or 20 wounded goblin or ghouls to hide in there. So your mileage may vary.
Battle. Do we want to go to the edge? You're right here.
I would say in another side, because I don't know if the Warren will collapse and take us down. If we're like standing over it.
So we want to go back up towards that that entry. Edge of the war.
I think we probably want to go up further because I think so we can at least, if they actually come at us, I think we can probably like tunnel them somewhat, or at least they can more or less only get us from one direction as long as no one comes from the east over here. There we go.
I agree. I think we go up. We one small one, one small one. Does that sound good? Or just both at the same time?
Now, if it's possible, I could try to consecrate it.
Okay. What's the
And-
goal with that?
Holy fire.
Okay.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go up towards the top, towards the closed access. We'll just have a couple.
Would it be holy fire on me or holy fire on the explosion itself?
It would be on the weapon, which is the big fire crystal.
Okay.
If we're consecrating it, I would like to use a big one.
Okay. So were you headed up here? Were you headed over here? Where were you going? Okay,
Like right there.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So where were you planning on setting off the explosion?
Okay, first of all, who's setting it off?
I think
I feel like
Luther
Luther.
would with because of
I
long
wonder.
range.
I wonder who.
So are you gonna set it down and then shoot at it? Because you can't just throw it. Might not be.
I don't know.
Could we just drop it in there?
Oh, is there like any sloping holes? Are they all
Sure.
just okay?
Sure.
Oh, that would be
If we were to throw it down, would it explode?
It
I
might.
mean,
I think we can go. We have 2 of them, so I think we could possibly lose one.
Then we have 2 big explosions going on down there instead of just one big explosion.
I'm saying we just throw one, right? And if it doesn't work, we just
Okay.
if
or we
it
throw a
doesn't
smaller
work, we might have to run. Like,
That's true. Not how it doesn't. Yeah, let's do that. Grandview, are you the
Alright,
one
team.
consecrating the? Why don't you consecrate it? I'll throw it down, and then like you guys all kind of wait back there. Does that sound good?
Would I be able to throw it, or is the slit too small? Like throw a fireball at it.
Oh, yeah, you could, if it didn't go off, you could chase it with a fireball. That wouldn't be a problem.
Luther, I'm gonna come with you. Roll it, so that like in case it does go off, I can kind of like grab you and
Okay.
yeah, let's go
could
for it.
When I'm consecrating, Xander, do you want to prop me?
Sure.
Because we're like a
yeah.
healing circuit.
Okay.
Sure.
So let's start at the beginning. Ranvir, go ahead and give me a magic weapon roll, please. Okay. 7 prop isn't going to help because it's not going to get you up to 10. So what special effect do you want in this one? The negative.
No, I'm gonna lose access.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not gonna jeopardize the
Okay.
plan.
Beautiful. All right. So, yes. So this fist size crystal is now glowing with this really warm um it the light it's simultaneously like gentle sunlight on your face, but you can see it even when your eyes are closed, and it like rolls over you. Xander, you I mean, on a scale of 1 to 5, you've got a pretty pure soul. Okay, you're probably a 4. Okay, you're not like squeaky clean, but you're mostly good. Okay, so you feel this light like peering into your psyche and finding good things, and you're feeling, haha, this is going to be a smite to remember, gang. We're going to love this one. Luther, you and your lantern do not like this. This is bad. This is bad, and it hurts us precious, and we want as far away from it as possible. So, you find a likely spot. Xander, just go ahead and give me, I don't know, a volley roll for placement.
And can Luther be the one to do the let fly roll? I'm just kind of there to guard him, pace it up, like
I don't
follow up.
know. Luther, do you want to be touching this thing?
Hell no.
Okay, all right, got it.
I think you mean heavens. Oh, see. Okay. 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 Mark experience, Xander. All right. So you go, huh, and you hear it go bounce, 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 bounce down that corridor, the one that slopes down. You cannot see it, it is out of your visual range, but it is down there approximately where you wanted it to go. And you don't, and it doesn't go off. What do y'all do?
But
A smaller one down.
yeah, yeah.
Chase it.
Okay.
Right, let's throw a smaller one.
Give me
This one's not
another one.
consecrated. Who's
No,
not
it is-
consecrated?
Luther,
No,
Luther.
Luther, please throw this thing. I failed like 5 rolls in a row. Please.
All right.
give me a let fly, please. Okay. Okay. Are you going to move to get a better shot? Are you going to take what you can get? Or are you going to have to throw more than one? How many of the little ones you got left?
That without that one, I only.
Okay. Yeah. So you're either going to have to move to get it to work, Luther, or you're going to
I'll
have.
move.
Okay. All righty.
Oh no.
Okay. So you huck it and you hear it go off. All right. And again, you and Xander have this planned. He grabs you, tucks you behind the shield, and you both hunkered down. All right. So, Xander, give me, I don't know, 5d10.
Boy,
Yeah.
it could just be 5 damage.
Yeah.
It could be 50.
Could be
Yeah.
40.
It could
Could be 40.
a good old 40.
Okay. Now give me 2d8. Okay. All right. And did you get any? Oh, what's the magic weapon effect, Ranvir?
1d6.
Okay, give me a d6, please. Okay, so 55 total points of damage. Okay. uh, Remember that 3-year-old? When the little one goes off, one of the last things you see, Xander, is the big one bouncing up the passage. Apparently, the little fireball got past the big one, and it throws it back in your general direction. That one goes off. There is a massive, massive, massive Titanic explosion. All right. Anybody who's not there, Randveer, you and Albrecht again get knocked to your knees or completely off your feet. This is a truly Titanic explosion. And from where you are, it's belching out like white soul fire out of every available orifice in this warren. Okay, murder holes and big gaps and all this, just boom, lights up the whole corridor as far as you can see in both directions. All right, luckily you're below most of that. Randveer, you and Albrecht take 4 points of damage. Do not apply armor, and it stings. That's quite the bad burn. Xander.
Luther, are you prepared to die?
Yeah.
I'm certainly.
Luther is about to take 15 points of damage. Xander, you're not going to take any. What do you do?
I do a safeguard roll.
Okay, going to redirect.
Let's try.
Okay.
And I'll automatically hold one, hopefully, even if I fail.
So you got 2.
Okay.
Would it-
I'm going to go ahead.
Would it do more or less damage? Because it is fire, but it is holy.
It's holy fire.
So
Yeah.
would it do
So
more? or
I'm going to
Yes.
redirect, and
Yes,
then
it would.
I'm going to redirect in half. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Okay. So, Luther, you are hurled bodily to the ground, and Xander, like a good Marine, lands on you completely, just like it's a puppy pile weaponized. All right. So the blast just washes over the two of you. Xander, you get a whisper, you get a singe, okay? You notice later the only parts of you that get burned are actually the parts that are pressed up against Luther. It's not your back and your head and all that. It's just the parts that were pressed up against Luther, okay? So you take 4 points of damage, okay? Luther, your lantern screams. I mean, whatever is in there, this was horrifyingly unpleasant. It screams and you black out. Okay. You don't know what happens from there. Randveer, you and Albrecht, Xander, you're having a moment. It feels like you're being judged for your sins, Xander. And it's like the kid who goes in, he's like, no offense to any Catholics in the audience. He goes in and he's like, forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. I took the Lord's name in vain like twice, and I cursed out my little brother. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You know, the big guy died for your sins, and that's it. Cursed out your little brother. You think that's worth it? You think that's, this is like, so he's trash talking to me. He's not sinning enough to make it worthy. So you're judged for your sins, and it's like, oh, that was that one time you had that uncharitable thought about Albrecht, and gosh, you were kind of mean to your sister that one time 17 years ago. So your sins are like washed away like very, very quickly. Okay. Yeah, and again, the burning marks on your torso from being pressed up against Luther. Luther goes entirely limp underneath you. Something happened there. Randveer, you and Albrecht feel the subsidence, okay? Lots and lots of things crashing and falling and falling and crashing immediately to your east, maybe west too. You're lying there. That's when a wave of water, and water and muck, comes boiling up this way toward you. Yeah, it's about a foot of water moving at speed that washes over the four of you. Anything you're not hanging on to real quick gets rolled away for a second, but the water fairly swiftly subsides as well. So the four of you are soaking wet, a little singed, and Luther is not waking up immediately. What do you do?
There. Okay, I think when Xander gets up, he's going to like try and basically grab Luther by like shirt or the chest or whatever, and kind of try and like and be like, kind of start to take him over to Rand, prop him up against
Xander, his lantern is not lit.
I don't know what to
Well, I have paper in my inventory. We could try to kindle. It would be like life sport, but
I just don't.
Don't
My
you die
issue
on me!
is,
Don't you die on me, flame!
would us lighting a fire though have the same effect as like the actual spirit lighting the fire? Is my issue. We could 100% try though.
Let's
While
find
you're
out.
doing that, while you two do that, I'm gonna try. Okay, I don't wanna. I'm gonna try Hands of Grace on Luther. I feel like it's gonna have a bad effect because
yeah, it's holy, and holy
Right.
causes nothing.
right.
I feel like that would be worse.
First, I'm gonna try like
That's just like
slapping,
ripping
wake
out my
up,
heart at that
wake
point.
up.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a Hands of Grace, please. Okay, cool. Go ahead and give me a what is that heal? Like 1d8, 1d6,
I think it's a 8.
d8. Okay, let's see. Okay, I can check as well.
The 1d4. Oh no, on a 10 plus, you heal 1d8 damage. Okay, yeah. So it's a d8, but it transfers.
Right. Okay. So you heal 6 and you take 6 damage. Actually, no, you don't. You don't take the 6 damage, but you do heal 6. Luther is still not regaining consciousness, however. Also, Ranveer, everything in your everything that everyone is carrying is soaked. Okay, very, very wet. And let me tell you what kind of wet it is. If you let a sewage system subside over a couple hundred years until everything's basically clay at the bottom of a sewer channel, and then you roll some fast moving water over it, yeah, it's not horrible and vile, but everything is pretty dirty and wet. So lighting a fire with that paper is not going to be easy at all. Xander, if part of your consciousness notices you're not seeing any movement readings from the Warren area.
Do any of you have incense?
I don't. I think Luther did. If we check his person, he might have some of that. But I think
It's like
I
an
remember, right? But I think I remember that flame not liking me.
but
Okay.
didn't still take
So-
it, even though
so-
it didn't like it.
We're a little over our halfway mark. We're going to take a quick bio break here and let some people recover from their emotional damage. And plan and plot their next moves. We'll see you back here in about 5 to 10 minutes. And count us out, boss. Oh my gosh, folks, we're back. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Well, apparently they've seriously taken out a maybe one or two ghoul nests. But what's happened to Luther? Oh my gosh, what's happened to Luther's spirit? The lantern is dark. All right, about this time, Luther, you dragging your way up out of an unconsciousness, and something is very, very wrong. Give me a let's see. Give me a cool roll, please. Boom. Okay. So, you can sense your spirits. Spirit of flame, spirit of darkness, if you will. Dark flame. It is very damaged. It is very, very, very beat up and in pain. Okay. It's also terrified, and it's also incandescently furious. I mean, this is a bushel of wet cats mad. Okay. This is angry in letters of fire 20 feet tall, okay, and a mile deep. Rage. Now, your problem is this: it's either too close to you or too far away. Which is it?
Too far away.
Okay, so you can sense it dimly in the distance. You know approximately the direction. You can if you could close your eyes and head toward it, but it's not close. It got completely knocked out of its little home there in the lantern. So, you're soaking wet. You're covered with muck that you don't particularly want to think about. Things are still falling and subsiding around you. The roll of water from the other subsided portions of the sewers seems to indicate there's been a massive shift somewhere. What do you do?
I'm heading towards my spirit.
Okay. Give me a D8, please. 4. Oh, okay. Well, your spirit is almost due south of you, you think. And let's see, judging from the big map, yeah, you have absolutely no idea what's south of you. Interesting. So, what do y'all do?
I'm just gonna start heading south. I'm not gonna talk to anybody after getting up. I'm heading straight for the spirit.
Okay, so Luther zombie-like stands up, looks around, shrugs into his wet clothes, and drippingly turns and starts walking south down that passageway. What's everybody else do?
Chasing after him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's not hard to catch. What do you do from there?
So Luther, I think Zeno wants to ask Luther first, like, what happened? Are you okay? What's going on? Like, why'd your flame go out?
I'm just gonna say, give me a minute.
Okay.
I gotta go to the spirit.
Okay. Can we like at least negotiate something about your safety? We want to make sure you don't die.
I'll live. I've lived through worse. I can make it.
Okay, so I think Xander's gonna still like kind of stick next to Luther, kind of trying to like watch how Luther walks and like stick kind of like right side by side with him as much as he can.
Okay. So as you head south, something that you notice immediately is there's been a collapse in the tunnels off to the west of you. It's not really bad, but again, it's one of those subsiding things. So now there's a sloping passageway down to the west, full of water. A bunch of it sloshed out when the localized earthquake happened. As you head on south of that, you notice that there's water in the two immediate passages to the south and to the west. The eastern passage is still relatively dry. And all of this over here is still spitting smoke and dust. Um, Again, no movement in this area. And you think you've blown up a hell of a lot of supports and things in there. So some of the Warren ways have belched out like rocks, like got too full and shot out here. So yeah, there was a major collapse in that Warren. All right, so you get south to that intersection. Luther just keeps heading south, wades into the water. It gets up to about, probably waist level, and it's pretty murky and mucky and gross. And he keeps going. What's everybody else do?
Okay. Guys, if he's gonna keep going, I'm gonna stay right there with him. Can you watch and make sure nothing like happens?
Yeah, I was going to say Alberg was going to stay vigilant
Yeah.
because it's very unlikely that nobody would have noticed that.
Yeah, huge noticing there. Okay. So the water is growing gradually deeper. And still not up to like chin level yet, but it's above the waist and creeping up. And still he continues on south. You come to an intersection. There, just from the smell and the sound, Xander, you think there's a large body of underground water or muck or both to the west of you. But he continues marching south. All right. Xander, give me a observe roll to see if you notice some things.
Coming up.
Okay. What's your question?
What should I be looking out for?
Well, what you should be looking out for maybe is those fishy type people, because you think you see like heads poke up and duck back down in the water. You feel like you're catching movement out of the corners of your eyes. Yeah. Nothing is approaching or attacking immediately, but you feel like you're under observation. What do you do?
I'm gonna tell Luther, hey, there's fish people here. I know you think he'll be fine, but we are in immediate danger.
Then you can turn around. I'm sorry, I have to keep going.
But Luther, I can't turn around. Okay. I'm gonna keep walking with Luther then. Kind of waiting. If one of them is going to attack, I need to be ready for it. So I want to almost be ready for a safeguard.
Okay. So you're watching his back and watching his. Go ahead.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Watching his
what.
back, watching his forward, watching his like just
Yeah.
basically looking around as much as I can.
Okay. All right. So you're heading south again. He keeps moving. You're not really sure. Again, you feel like you're really under observation. You're not really sure why nothing is taking exception to your presence. You pass through a couple of intersections. Luther doesn't even slow down. The ground starts sloping upwards again, and so you both step out of the flooded area. And when you get to that three-way intersection, it's above you, Luther. It's not down here in the sewage area. It's still a little south of you, but you can tell it's up, not just straight over. What do you do?
Can I look around for like a service ladder or a stairs or a hole in the ceiling?
Yes. Give me a luck roll, please. Just 2d6, no modifier. Okay. You see several spaces where one should be. They've evidently been torn out here on purpose. Whatever group or groups is claiming these areas of the sewers evidently didn't want any access from above. So now you did just get out of what you think was like fish people territory. So you don't know. But then again, you also don't know what else is down here. So what do you do?
I gotta find a way to get up there.
Yeah, you do. Are you pushing on to one of the three ways south? Are you backtracking? You do know you know for sure a way out would be just north of the ghoul hive that you just blew up.
I think that might be the way to go then.
Okay. So heading back, Xander, your motion detector is going a little wild, but you think part of the problem is it's picking up motion in water, but it's also picking up the water. You know what I mean? Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's picking up the fact that the water is moving as well, kind of a thing. So lots and lots and lots of movement from over to the west, but nothing ever again comes out of the dark at you. So yeah, pretty hairy though. You're on edge the whole time. And again, you think you do see some movement out of the corner of your eye of these fishy type people. All right, so Ranveer and Albrecht, what have you been doing this whole time?
I think we've been just waiting, like keeping an eye out, waiting for them to come back.
Okay. After a unreasonable amount of time, in Albrecht's opinion, they do return. Luther's looking a little bit more in control of his faculties, like he's actually, steering the ship at this point as opposed to just running on autopilot. But he's got a haunted look on his face. All right, So, what do you do from here?
I'm going to the thing at north. The way to get out to the spirit.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So you head over to the closest entryway, you think. There's been some action undergroundic collapse action going on over here as well. Apparently this whole sections is completely was completely honeycombed with ghoul hive. So basically, as far as you can see on this thing, it's burnt, blown up, subsided, etc., etc., about like that. So, yeah. Ranveer, it is your intellectual opinion that that you might be able to claim victory here on on the whole. Well, he sent us down to deal with some ghoulage, and we sure as hell did. Boy, did we ghoul out, ghoul up. All right, so you make it up the ladders again to the academy grounds. Oh, that's the undermark. Let's go to the campus map. Here we are. All right, so you make it out, and the place that you went down is probably about the first one is here, the second one is about here, and the third one is right on the edge there, about there. Okay, so you come up out of the easternmost one here. Oh, Luther, two things. Your spirit is slightly farther away than you expected, and it's moving. It's moving west. So, what do you do?
I might pull a bit of the geometry out and do the Pythagorean theorem straight to like where it could be heading.
Okay. So let's take a look at the big map here. Ouch, that hurts. Take a look at the big map. So on the big map, y'all are here. You're at the academy grounds. Okay. And your new associate, the Tinker, said there's a couple of groups in the area that are difficult to deal with. There's the bugs, obviously. Bugs are mostly north and east of you. There's the ghouls. Ghouls are pretty much everywhere, but they've got a focus again, more east than north, but still northeast. You've dealt with the rat folk, the Reki, the ratkin. They're very, very much east and a little bit north. All right. So there's some fish people around here someplace south of you. The other one the Tinker mentioned was the Fracti. Fracti in the old tongue is like the broken, the damaged ones, but they call themselves the Fracti. Okay. Tinker said they're in some ways related to the rat people. Wasn't really clear on how or why. And yeah, they've apparently got forts and villages and strongholds, mostly west of you, some north of you, and maybe even one or two east and south. So you don't know, but whatever's going on with your spirit, again, furiously angry, and not just a little bit of that is directed at you, but it's moving. And you got your little lantern here all alone. Just a little birdhouse without his little bird. It's so sad. So what do y'all do?
Is Luther? Are you still just mindlessly going after it?
Yeah, but you guys don't need to follow along. I mean,
No,
I
we
can
have to.
I can fend for myself.
We kind of have to. Here's the issue. Do you want... How bad... Okay, you want your spirit more than you want the elemental incense, right? So
Yes.
we were just about to get you that elemental incense, and we just did it all, but now we have to go collect it, but we can't until you have your spirit.
What if we say use the elemental incense as a peace offering with your spirit?
Would you be okay with that, Luther?
I mean, at the end of the day, if I have incense and no flame to put it in, what's it gonna do?
But it might come to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Like an offering.
All right. So where are you headed?
Do we...
I guess to go pick up the incense from
And talk
the
to the
yeah.
Academy people.
All right. So back at the academy. Well, yeah, you make yourself known. They you end up in one of the main buildings here again, and you knock on the panel that they tell you to knock on when you came back. You know, 3 knocks, then 2, then 3, then 1, whatever. And you're hustled underground into their safety zones. They're real excited to hear the story. Oh my gosh, and yeah, we felt some of the explosions, and that was you. Yes. Oh, everything shook and dust fell on everything. Yeah, that was you. Yeah, it really was. Man, you look like half of you look like death, burn marks and this and that. Yeah, we did this and that and the other thing. So one of the things they do is send out scouts to check the area. They also give you all a chance to tidy up a little bit, which is basically, since they don't have a lot of water to spare, it's basically like a dust bath, like a fine grained dust and a little bit of oil, which they then scrape off your body, and then you get a once over rinse with a little bit of soap, and then once over rinse. So you're all clean, clean-ish. Not much to do about your gear at this point, though. But by the time you're all cleaned up and spiffy, they give you food and water because that was part of the deal, and you've all had a chance to rest for a while. Yeah, the scouts come back. They're all excited. They're like, man, they blew up half the tunnels under there. It's just, you know, one of the ghoul warrens is basically gone. Yeah, and the rest, yeah, that's great. Well, somebody says, what do you got all over your hands? Oh, this it's red ochre. And yeah, We took the liberty of leaving a few warning signs. Oh, what? Just big, like, flames and explosions. Okay, good call. Good call. So, mess with us, you get the flames. Mess with the fire, you get burned. Whoosh. So, yeah. Congratulations, you are now all a threat, people. So if you wanted to rest here, restock, resupply, they are very the responses that you're getting from these people is halfway between holy smokes, I can't believe they did it, and I mean, what they said they were ghoul hunters. Oh, I didn't hear you. I heard, I don't know, girlfriend. I don't know what I heard. Damn. So yeah, lot of respect, and not a little bit of fear, but you can rest for a little while. Luther keeps stopping mid conversation and tracking something that none of the rest of you can see. Part of you really doesn't want to approach your spirit at this point, Luther. It's mad. You've never felt it this mad, and even at a distance it hurts, and your impression is that it's going to demand a lot of you. The phrase punish you severely might be in there someplace. So yes, so they do give you that elemental incense. I believe they offered you the choice of what kind you wanted.
Yep.
Did you want it specific for earth, air, fire, water, or void?
Void.
Void. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I mean, ahem. I didn't plan anything evil. All right. So, you rest for a little while. Anybody who was injured, look at your total hit points, divide that by 2, and that's how much you heal. So if you've got 20 hit points normally, you heal 10 hit points, and that applies around the bend. So your spirit is apparently settled somewhere almost due west of you. Asking around a little bit. The academics say that's Fracty territory. And we try not to mess with them. They don't know we're, excuse me, they don't know we're here, but they have sent a bunch of organized, well, 3 or 4 organized groups through here to look for things. They did a pretty thorough search of the academy over the last couple of years. They wear similar they carry similar arms. They wear similar armor. And again, well supplied, well organized. So, what do you do?
I think Albrecht would like to bring up, I think everybody asks for something from the Underground Academy people.
Yes, and they're feeling very generous at this point. You've either destroyed a menace to them or you've set it back 20 years. So they're at least gonna get a little bit of breathing room out of this. Oh, and they were interested in hearing about the fish people. Their scouts had seen signs of something going on to the south, but the fact of a new player in that particular game is news to them.
Albrecht,
So, yes.
would you Albrecht think about giving them a finger off of the hand that you have, like a claw, so they could maybe work on coming up with something to neutralize the effect that it has on people so that they might be better equipped. Maybe that's something you could negotiate with them.
Probably.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they're chemists and alchemists. Oh yeah, we'd love a sample of the poison. That would be great. We can work on that. Okay, so cool. So we got the elemental incense for Luther. We've got um,
Diplomacy for me.
at the bare bones minimum, Albrecht, they're going to render down the claw for the poison, and they'll give you it's probably 3 uses of it. They're like, be careful, it's quite deadly. And they said, well, I'm sorry, they give you 2 uses of it. They're keeping the third to work up an antitoxin. They're saying the main alchemical antitoxin might work, but there might be some long-lasting negative effects of this poison. So we're going to try and work up a specific one. Get back to us. But you can have a free sample of that next time you come through too. All right, so Ranveer and actually everybody but Luther, since Luther's already been spoken for. What sort of thing are you going to ask your hosts for? You are each due a boon.
Information on the ward I discovered back at the academy, as well as like possible lead on spirits.
Oh, so you're just looking for information?
Yes.
Okay. They give you a couple books. One is these are copies, so you can have them. One is it's basically 101 things that you can do with a spirit ward, depending on how you make it, and what sort of energies can be infused into it. You think what they've done with this one, they pointed out it's like variant, 17. This one just it's very low energy, so it doesn't have to be maintained very often. It lets the caster know when something enters the ward or leaves it. And it's got a very, very minor, like, anti-spirit effect on the barrier itself. So spirits inside the barrier have a tendency to want to stay away from it. Spirits on the outside of the barrier have a tendency to want to stay away from it. Okay. So looking at this thing, since I don't want to come up with it on my own, if you want to come up with a minor effect that you could combine with your sanctuary spell, doesn't have to be right this instant. You can set that up in some of our downtime. If you want to pitch me 3 or 4 different specific effects that you can get on it. Bonus points if it's uses materials that are harder to get. Bonus points if it takes like ritual time as opposed to walk once around the block time. But just play with the concept of it's a sanctuary spell and okay. The other one is so that's the wards one. The other half was just magic in general.
Like leads on where I can contact spirits.
Oh, okay. Do you want old stuff or new stuff?
Which one would Celestial fall under?
Well, here's the deal. The older books are going to be more thorough and more specific. They're also going to be less helpful because in the before times, spirits were everywhere, magic was everywhere. You could do, simple summonings in a glade or in a temple or wherever. Not anymore. So again, the older texts are going to be are going to have a lot more information. but less of it's going to be pertinent. Anything written since the God's Fall and the Last War is going to be more in tune with the times. It's going to say, hey, you're probably going to want to avoid places like this because yes, there are spirits, but no, blah blah blah, that sort of thing.
I'll take something newer.
Oh, okay, beautiful. Write down that whenever you do an observe roll, one of your choices is always going to be can I sense any spirits nearby?
Okay.
Cool. Xander, what were you thinking for a benefit, boon, gift, or treasure?
So, did they already agree to the like open diplomacy thing for the healing bit already?
Yes, they're interested in
Okay.
talking to your healers.
All right. Man, I don't really know what to ask for. I guess okay. I guess I could ask if they have any like specialized weapons or anything that I could use to like better my own like armor or anything like that.
What kind of armor do you have?
I have pretty good armor actually, so I don't know if they would. I have plate armor.
Plate. Oh, weren't you looking for something shield-like for Ranveer?
Yeah, really,
Okay,
if he could get more protection.
Ranveer is not the kind of person who like would remember that. Just a little focus more on the whole magic thing. So yeah, you can get that. Oh, okay. They give you a buckler, a Ranveer, and it's fairly special. The buckler, you don't even have to have a hand free to use it. You can strap it to your arm, and it goes out like an inch or two. If you go like this with your hand, it goes out an inch or two past it, so you
Okay.
can just block. And here's how that works. If you use it just as a regular shield, it's just one extra armor, okay, like any other shield. It also has the tag defensive. Defensive, instead of using it as armor, you can get a +1 forward to an avoid peril roll. Okay. So if you're trying to jump out of the way of something bad, if you're trying to tough something out, however you can creatively use a large disc of tempered metal to better your chances on that. You know, deflect a lightning bolt. I don't know. You tell me how you want to use it. So it's either +1 armor or +1 to um, uh, saving throw, basically. But it can't be both at the same time. So, and it's very lightweight. It's only like 1 weight, so easy to carry. Awesome. Albrecht, what sort of thing were you looking for?
Albrecht, I think from last time, I think Albrecht asked for either weapons, tools, anything that would make him more powerful per se. Either augmenting something he already has or something new.
Gotcha. Okay. What are your current what weapons are you currently using for your special hammer effects?
Um, well, what do you mean? Because what do you
Uh,
mean
there,
by
there's
specific?
one that's based on a sword, one that's based on dagger, one that's based on hammer, one that's
Oh,
based on mace, flail, spear, two-hander.
uh, it's the hammer.
Just the hammer? I thought you got more
Oh,
than one.
I have the hammer and the knife.
And the dagger. Okay. Was there a third fighting style that you were leaning towards?
Not particularly.
Okay. Um, And you do hammer and shield mostly, yeah?
Albrecht does not have a shield.
Oh, okay.
Albrecht
Well,
does not want to use a shield.
oh, okay. How do you feel about javelins?
Uh, Depends on the javelin.
These are fairly standard. They're short, heavy, relatively short range. Were you interested in any other kind of missile weapon?
Not really. Albrecht's much more of a hand-to-hand, or at
Hand-to-hand.
least up close fighter, which is why
Gotcha.
he uses the hammer.
What's your armor currently?
Normally it's 3.
Yeah, but what type of armor do you have?
Oh, heavy armor.
Just scale or
I would think more plate-based.
okay, let's see.
Because I know,
So,
because for at least the armor, because of the armored tag, essentially I get no downsides from that.
right, right. Okay, so the hammer starts out with heavy armor, 2 armor, 3 weight. Okay. Xander, your plate is 3 armor, correct?
My plate is, I think it's actually, yeah, it's 3 armor.
Okay. So basically what they can do for your armor, Albrecht, is they can basically optimize it. They're gonna reduce the overall weight and increase the protective ability. Putting plates where they need to be, moving things around a little bit. It takes a little while. Is there anybody here know what I mean by brigandine? Okay, brigandine is basically a leather base with a bunch of plates on it. It's called brigandine. It's called coat of plates. Very, very, very effective. Usually fits really well. Fairly quiet. So, what's the weight on your plate mail there, or your plate armor,
3.
Xander?
Mine's
Xander,
4.
sorry.
I think, yeah. Wait, no, that's my shield. Hold on. 4, I believe, is the weight. Yeah, wait, 4.
4 weight? Okay. Yeah. So they can get you some plate equivalent. So it's 3 armor, 4 weight, and they can get that for you now. Does that work for you?
I think so.
Okay, cool. It also they also give you a better helmet. It's got some. It's not only slightly more protective. It's also quite intimidating. Um, it's got a half mask that's carved into like a demonic face. It's even the teeth are even got a coat of enamel on it with red tips. So you've got this wide open, snarling demon face with blood tipped canines. It's yeah, it's quite a showstopper. Wouldn't want to run into you in a dark alley kind of a thing. All right. So, and also, sooner or later, Luther, they're going to get you 3 uses of the elemental incense. All right. So, what do you do? You've got some unknown potentially hostiles to the west, but that's apparently where the spirit has ended up. Also, unknown dangers all around you, and a long walk home through bug infested territory if you just want to cut and run. What are you doing?
I assume we're probably heading out to the spirit.
I have to go get
I
my
think
spirit.
so. Before we leave, can we go ahead and get our rations and water refilled?
Yes.
Also, would the rest we took count as for us leveling up?
Yes, you are in a safe place with time, energy, and effort, so you can level up. Did you already know what you were going to do with that?
No, not exactly. I have
Okay.
2 levels.
2?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Okay, let's we're gonna have to retcon that because I don't want to take the time to do that right this instant. But yeah, before next session we can get that up. All right. So, what do you do? The academicals tell you that they know of a couple of fracty holds in the area. Since they kind of bypassed, let's see, what color am I going to? Oh, I'll do purple. Since they kind of bypassed the academy, since they don't know anybody's there, there's actually a couple that are fairly close. So you've got, let's see, the ones that they know of. All right, it's the map. All right, so they've got, there's one slightly to the east of you that's like like a fortified village. There's one to the north, slight west, and there's one mostly west, a little south. These are, from what their scouts are saying, they're fortified villages, and pretty impressive. When the Fracti moved in, when the Fracti moved into this one, which again is in the last year or so, it's an impressive site. The large armed force shows up, clears out the surrounding area of anything particularly hostile. Then the workers showed up, and the workers dug dry moats, set up a bunch of spikes and nastiness in them. First layer of defense. Took the stuff that they dug out and put it in rammed earth like walls and berms and things. Then they built like a stone, like a palisade, just like a 3-foot wall, probably like a 6-foot wall with a step. And then they built the village and did the defenses first, and then made the village inside of it. They've got, and they think they did it there because there's some sort of water source that they dug for. Anyway, so it's a little village. It's surrounded by open space that's mostly garden and crops. Strong military presence, and anything coming in or going out has got a heavily armed caravan. Okay, so 75 Fracti will show up with 6 empty wagons, load them up and take them out, and they're not messing around. They travel in force, and once people know you do that, they're probably not getting messed with very often. So the northern village is very similar, and it's been there for a while. Same with the one to the southwest, but they think there's like a city or big town or something. Sometimes they hear drums in the distance. So yeah, there's bigger and more settlements to the north and the west. So, you all, Luther, when you find that out and you're doing your triangulation, it makes sense that it's in that village immediately to the southwest. However, your spirit can travel a lot faster than you. So, it's probably a day or two's travel away, depending on your route. Also, the academics say that they do have strong patrols frequently. So, and about now, it is 5:47 p.m. We're cruising into the last couple of minutes. Oh, so you're going to get a chance to do a level up anyway, Ranveer. Awesome. End of session. End of session. All right. So, oops. So check your motivations, first of all. Again, to the viewing public, a lot of games call it alignment. Alignment's a little squishy, though. A motivation is kind of an alignment that has a goal attached to it. And if you hit your goal over the course of a gaming session, you get more experience. Who here hit your motivation? 1, 2, 3. Okay. And everybody who did, mark 1 XP. Did you check your keys? Keys are negative personality quirks that sometimes they just happen over the course of the narrative. Sometimes people trigger them. Did anybody here have a key tripped this time around? Okay. If you have any question about that, please do ask. Next up, blood. Blood is relationships between player characters. They can change over time, and if they do, you get XP for it. Anybody have any blood that's resolved currently?
Luther, did you have any opinion change of anybody?
I mean, I guess not. Like, no, I guess not.
Okay.
I think I got a new blood with Xander.
Oh,
Which is what?
That whole healing circuit thing that happened.
okay. All right.
Okay.
That we might be in like more in sync than we think, like
Mm.
divinity wise.
Okay. Do you have any problem with that, Xander?
No, not. I
Okay.
think that's pretty good.
So something along the lines of Xander and I have more in common than we might think. I like it. I like it. Mark XP. Anybody else?
For me, I'm not entirely sure. There's one that I want to apply, but I don't know who to give it to.
What is it?
It's gonna get us all killed. It's life crazier than a sunburnt rat wolf. Mostly just for this because of the giant explosion.
Well, I got to say that was kind of a group effort. As from what I understand, from what I remember, it was like Xander's like, "Hey, we could blow some stuff up." Luther's like, "No, we could blow it all up." Ranveer's like, "I'll help." So,
And I just watched it happen.
yeah, and finding the ringleader of that little posse, I mean,
I can probably just save it for later then.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Then the big three. Did you learn something new about the nature of the world?
With the people?
Yeah,
The
yeah, you
people,
did.
yeah.
Everybody mark 1 experience. Did you defeat a noteworthy enemy?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then
Yes, you did. Boy, man. Yeah, you killed more ghouls in the last X number of hours than most heroes can do in months. And third, did you recover a noteworthy item or treasure?
I think so, with the elemental incense.
Yeah, so everybody mark XP for that. Anybody going to level up besides Ranveer?
I am.
I
I
got
technically
2.
did last time.
You got what?
I have 2 level ups ready.
Jeez,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Albrecht, what did you say?
I got 1, but that was from last session. I just couldn't use it because we were not in the safe location.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody's leveling up. Awesome. Finally, last but not least, let's do gold stars. We're going to start with Luther. Who gets yours?
I'm gonna give it to Ranveer only because I think the holy aspect of that explosion added a lot of interesting stuff to the story.
Agreed. Xander, who gets yours?
I'm gonna go Luther for almost dying, and for being willing to almost die for the crazy plan.
Cool, cool. And Ranveer, who gets yours?
I'm gonna go Luther for the RP aspect.
Yep. And Albrecht, who gets yours?
I would say Luther for the same reason of essentially the moment after the spirit was gone.
Yes. I don't think it's any surprise to anybody. I am awarding my GM Gold Star to Luther. You took that. Losing your spirit even for a minute, that causes all sorts of self-reflection and doubt and all that. And I think you played that out very, very well. I am fascinated to see what y'all are going to do about recovering that spirit. And again, folks, anybody who likes PBTA, the tagline is "Play to find out what happens." I didn't know these crazy folks were going to be blowing things up with holy fire, and it's like, oh, let's see, evil fire demon spirits exposed to holy flame. That's going to cause some cognitive dissonance. That's going to be a problem. So yeah, I planned none of this, and I'm much happier because I couldn't have come up with this crazy stuff. None of us are as smart as all of us, but none of us are as dumb as all of us put together. That was brilliant plan, by the way, skillfully executed. All right, so we're done for the evening. Thank you so much, folks. Again, level up stuff. If you got anything to talk to me about offline, please do. Again, I'm looking forward to how you develop these characters. All right, folks, thanks so much for tuning in to No Theoretical Bias. We will be here next Sunday, inshallah, and Loki willing. And thanks again. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you very, very much. Please take a look at some of our sister streams, also here in No Theoretical Bias. We've got Tuesday shows and Thursday shows, and we might be doing some special events here coming up. Maybe some guest GMs, some guest players, keeping everybody guessing. All right, thanks again, folks. Go ahead and count us out there, Will, and we'll catch you on the flip side.